Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to day 20 of Ramadan. I want you all to not worry. I'm not driving. I'm a passenger. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma salli wa sallam wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Welcome to day 20 of Ramadan. We are just a few hours away from the first possibility of Laylatul Qadr on the 21st night. And I'm going to go ahead and say maybe we should pull over just for the noise factor. Up here you'll find a place. I'll keep going until then. All right. Welcome everyone. Today we are alaikum salam rahmatullah to Singapore, to all the places. MashaAllah. All right. So today I thought we would revisit Qada Qadr and think about ease and hardship and think about trials, because we just read the 20th juz'ah today, and for a very long time I've been I think the word is I wanted to say, can't think of the word, but like the first ayat of Surah Al-Ankabut have always touched me. Have always touched me and really moved me, especially in times of great trial. They've given me comfort, actually. So we're going to talk about trials. We're going to talk about Qada al-Qadr. We're going to talk about ease and hardship. I'm going to get this car parked so that it's a little easier to do that. Don't worry, again, I'm not the one doing the driving, but that way it won't be so noisy for all of you, and you don't have to hear somebody telling us to turn right and left. Although maybe that would help us for our akhir if we just had a GPS that said, oh no, turn right, oh no, stop here, oh no, do this, oh no, do that. All right, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I want to start by talking about the story of Nabi Ayyub, or Job, whose story we're going to be reading about, I think, tomorrow or the next day. And when you read about his story, I want you to remember what we said today as an introduction to our topic of trials. And Nabi Ayyub, he was a prophet who we know him as someone who was trialed a lot. We know him as someone who lost all of his wealth, lost his children, lost his health, lost everything, really. And he had only his wife left with him, and even she lost patience with the situation. And I think sometimes when you are in hardship and someone around you loses patience, that adds to the trial, because you need the people around you to not make things harder. You need the people around you to be supporting you. So Nabi Ayyub, we think of him as this really tried human being. And actually in English, you say, there's an expression, it just slipped my mind. Anyway, there's an expression which, if I think of it, it means someone who's tried a lot, and it has to do with the trials of Job. In English, Ayyub is Job. But I want to say something, which is that Nabi Ayyub, or Job, was not only tried with those things that we think about. His trial began before all of that. He was also tried with wealth, tried with children, tried with popularity, tried with good health. All of the khair and stuff that was beautiful in the first stage of his life was a trial. Yes, thank you, Sarah. Sabr Ayyub in Arabic. I wonder what it is in English. And all of that which came of hardship and difficulty was a trial, but they were both a trial. So I want you to just put that on a shelf. We're going to come back to it in a minute. Let's look at the verses that we read today, beginning with Alif Lam Mim, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alif Lam Mim, very beginning of Ankabut, in the 20th juz'ah, that I hope you've already read. If you haven't, inshallah, you're going to be reading it soon. It starts as a question. أحسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون. Do people think or imagine or account? Do they add it up? Does it add up for people that they will just be left alone after they say we believe and they won't be tested? The first time after being a no Muslim that I read that verse and I really was, it really hit home, was in, gosh, I don't know the year, I have to think about the year, 1980, I think it was 88 or 89, 1989 maybe, I'm not sure, when I was in France, and in France, my lung collapsed, and I went to the hospital in France. And it was, I had a child, a baby, a toddler, and they were very Islamophobic in the hospital, and it was a really terrible experience, actually. It was just a really terrible experience. I could tell you all sorts of stories, which I could really make you laugh with the stories, but they weren't too funny back then. And I remember being in that situation, or maybe just coming out of it, and reading this verse, أَحَسِبَ النَّاسُ. Do we think that? Do we actually believe that? Do we actually take that into account? And yutraku, that we will just be left alone after we believe and we won't be tried. How would that be fair? How would that even work? How would we even know about ourselves that we have faith if our faith isn't tried in some way or another? Nabi Ayyub, when his wife was losing patience, and she talked to him about just ask Allah to be done with this for you. He said, in the meaning of, all during that first trial stage, when I had all the wealth and all the health and I never said, oh, Ya Allah, this trial is getting long. So at least I want to be patient in this stage so it equals the first. And in the end, he was released of it before then. But we are all trialed. Every one of us will be trialed, and we'll be tried in the thing that is hard for us. Don't imagine you're going to be tried in the thing that's easy for you, because then it's not a trial. Okay? One person is tried with cancer. Another person is tried with betrayal. Another person is tried with deen, their inner deen, doubt in their deen. Another person is tried with jealousy or hasad. Another person is tried with poverty. Another person is tried with war. Everyone is tried. Every one of us. And that trial is an actual question. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues. وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. We tested those who came before. فَلَعَلَّمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَلَعَلَّمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ. So we could know or differentiate or distinguish between those who were truthful and those who are kadhibin, liars. Liars about what? Liars about faith. Liars about faith. Oh, this is the way of this world. And when you're tried with something, when I said that you're tried with something that's hard for you, you know that you're being tried with something hard for you when you look at someone else with a really hard trial and you say, oh, I wish I had that trial. Astaghfirullah al-azim. You look at someone else and you say, oh, if that one, why are they fussing? That one is easy. But actually, you have been given the trial that you need to grow. To grow and to be differentiated. Are you of the people who sadaq? Are you telling the truth about your faith? Are you living your faith in a truthful way? Islam, this beautiful deen of ours, this beautiful love story of ours, is a story of recognizing the strength of the human being and what it is possible that we can do. That we can do good, real good. We can do real good. But in the same way, the human being can be really evil. And it's really interesting. My father is a criminal lawyer. And one thing that I would say he's learned, or maybe he already knew it, my father is a believer in second chances. And he looks at people and he finds good in them. But there's been a few people who he's like, But you and I, when we make a mistake, do we think of ourselves as evil? No. But if someone else makes a mistake with you, do you think of them as evil? Maybe it depends on what it is. And where is real good and where is real evil? In the hearts of people. That's the only place it is. In the hearts of people, where intentions are stored, where opinions are stored, where our willingness to work or not is stored. And we have been capable of both very, very good, ahsan taqweem, the best, and the highest, and we are capable of the lowest, and we can do both in the same hour. Allah granted you a mind, a brain, that can tell the difference between truth and falsehood. What is true and what is a lie. What is good and what is evil. What is positive and what is negative. Allah gave you the capacity. Never say, I can't handle this, I can't do this, because Allah doesn't give a trial without giving you the ability to handle it. That doesn't mean it's not going to be hard. In birth, and Maryam gave birth, and any woman really who gives birth, there's a point if you're giving birth without drugs, and there's a beginning when you're in labor, it's really hard. And those labor pains come, and they're stronger, and they're stronger, and they're horrible. And you start to say, what in the world is this? And then you hit something called transition. Transition is when you're moving from just the labor pains to the ability to deliver the child. Transition, most women feel like they won't survive. Once you hit transition, most women feel like, that's it, I'm dying. And even Maryam said in the Quran, I wish I had died before this day. Transition is very, very difficult. But the beauty of transition is you always know you're done with that first stage. And so now in birth, you don't say in transition, sorry, change my mind. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to give birth. Like, you can't. Your body will just keep moving forward. But in life, very often a person is in a trial, and the trial is coming to the fore, and it's almost done, and it's there that they give up. It's there at that intense place that they don't pass the trial anymore, because they give up or they walk away. They walk away from what is the point of the trial, which is the question. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has settled within us free will, irada. And we talked about this before, in the ability to choose our actions. And that has made us responsible and accountable. And so, either we are strong in truth, or we are strong in falsehood and evil. One or the other. We will end up one or the other places. But we all have what we need to be responding in good. I want you to think about the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. How did they live their lives? Did they waste their time sitting around in the midst of drama? Were the companions #drama? Only once do we really see a lot of drama, and that's the ifk. The ifk, when the companions started to talk about Aisha radiallahu anha, Ya Latif, and say horrible things about her. And that was a real trial of the ummah, and a trial for Aisha radiallahu anha, and a trial for the Prophet ﷺ, trial for Abu Bakr, a trial for the ummah. But how did it become a trial? It was a trial because there was people, the hypocrites of Medina were stirring up lies about Aisha radiallahu anha in order to besmirch her reputation and therefore the reputation of the Prophet ﷺ. But that kind of stuff that came from the hypocrites, all that drama is not where our life is supposed to be. We don't see in the lives of the Prophet ﷺ that the companions were wasting time in drama or in, oh, what is my qada, or what is my qadr, and what is happening here, and is this a trial, and what is this, and I don't know what. What did they do? They spent nights in prayer. They fought in battles. They went forth sacrificing themselves, being wounded, and got up the next day and kept on working. They weren't whiners. They went to the marketplace. They bought and sold. They had business. They brought in money. They organized themselves. They organized themselves both to succeed as individuals and as an ummah. Radiallahu anhum. And really, they kept on struggling to build a community and a spiritual life. Can you imagine if when we heard about the companions, we heard about that new companion showed up in Medina, so Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu he got upset about that. Can you imagine if we heard there's a wedding over there over on that farm, and so now this other companion is really upset they didn't get invited. Can you imagine? All of this kind of stuff that we're dealing with, this petty stuff, they didn't deal with that. They were dealing with real. Hello, am I back? Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Let me see if I am back. Am I back? All right, I think I might be now. Assalamu alaikum. Sorry about that interruption. Okay, wonderful. All right. The Prophet ﷺ, listen to this beautiful story. Ali radiallahu an. He said, the Prophet ﷺ came to him and Fatima one night and tapped him and said, Are the two of you not praying? It was the nighttime. He was waking them up. So Ali said, Ya Rasulallah, our souls are in the hands of Allah. If He wills, He will wake us. So the Prophet ﷺ left. After he said that, he didn't discuss it. Ali said, then we heard him as he turned to go, hitting his thigh and saying, indeed, the human being is the most argumentative. He didn't like this. Put effort in. Put effort into our lives. Put effort into our prayers and our deeds. Don't make excuses for shortcomings. Don't say, this is how Allah made me. That's why I'm like this. No, Allah gave you this. Maybe it's a trial for you. So pass the test. Are you willing at school not to pass a test at university? Pass the doggone test. One time during the Khalifa of Umar radiallahu an, Umar ibn al-Khattab, there was a thief who stole. Now, I want you to know that during the time of Umar, he was very concerned about punishing a thief if the thief was stealing out because of lack of money because of poverty or because of not enough money in the economy. So for a period of time, Umar radiallahu anh actually suspended the most serious punishment for thievery. But in this case, he came before Umar radiallahu anh, and he asked him, why did you steal? Why did you steal? I love that question. It's so compassionate. Why did you steal? And you know what the thief said? Allah willed it. Astaghfirullah. Allah doesn't will that we sin against Him. Allah doesn't will that we sink down into pettiness. Allah doesn't will that we become of those who are evil. He wants us to choose to be of the people of truthfulness, not falsehood. And that's a lie. That was a lie, so he was punished by the law. Now, we started this out with these verses from Ankabut, and they're connected, and their connection to our faith, our love story journey. And you might say, well, how is this part of the love story? This idea that we're being tested no matter where we are. This is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests us to know if we are the lovers. He loved us first, remember? He knows us fully. But can we say about ourselves that we are truly on this path? Can we say about ourselves that we are passing our test? And what is your test? Is your test ease right now? Are you passing or are you lazy? Is your test something internal? Are you passing or are you giving up? Is your test the pain of the ummah and the enemies of the ummah? Cruelty, mind-boggling cruelty. Is your test the test of the ummah? How are you responding? What is the test? Respond. Respond and get an A. Don't get a D or a C or an F or even a B. Get an A on this test. And I'd say, well, how do I get an A? Certainly the things you always hear from me. Make sure that you are taking care of your farad. You're taking care of that which is an obligation upon you and doing it well and doing it the best that you can. And the second is, I really want to recommend that you sit with people who love Allah. That's an easy one, right? I'm giving you something easy to do. Go find someone's grandmother who loves Allah. Go find someone who really loves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and just hang out. Go sit with her and read Quran together. Go sit with her and do adhkar together. Or just serve her or sit in her presence or his presence and be with people who love Allah. Because when you're with people who love Allah, you're going to incline yourself to do the thing that you should do. But don't separate yourself from the people who love Allah. Because then you might incline to do the things that the people of dunya do. And you might find yourself not passing your test. And the goal here is to pass these tests. Now the third thing is dhikr. SubhanAllah, when you're in the midst of a test, you can have all sorts of responses. But make sure that one thing you're doing is holding on to any type of dhikr, any type. Depends on the trial. Sometimes I can give actual advice about which one. But just for now, any type. Increase in istighfar, increase in la ilaha illallah, increase in recitation of Quran, increase in prayer. Do something. Fill your life with as much dhikr as possible. And then you will know how to pass. How do you know how to pass your test at school? You study. Your studying of how to pass the tests of this dunya are directly related to your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because that's the point. That's the point. To determine those who الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا and the kadibin. So be of the people who tell the truth, who are truthful about your faith. Be of the ones who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward on the day of judgment. And in this life, make sure that I think my message for you today in this love story is identify your test. Identify it. Is it wealth? If your test is wealth, start giving it away. Is it health? You might say, what is she talking about? How is health a trial? Are you using your body for Allah in the way you should? Are you getting up at night to pray while you're healthy? Well, how are you going to do it when you're sick? What's your trial right now? Or is it sickness? Or is it poverty? Or is it something else altogether? One of the very dangerous things. There are two dangerous trials. One is the trial of deen. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yublina bidina. Ya Allah, don't trial us in our religion. Ya Allah, don't trial us in our religion. Ya Allah, don't trial us in our religion. And the other trial that is really hard is jealousy and anger. These two things are really hard. Anger, the Prophet ﷺ, it's so hard. The Prophet ﷺ told us what to do. Get up, move, make wudu, do things. And jealousy and envy are really hard because anger eats up good deeds like fire eats up wood. And jealousy and envy eat up good relationships and eat up good deeds. And people have jealousy and envy and ruin relationships from these things. And they end up losing the relationship that they were envious about, that they didn't have to be envious about in the first place. So all of this ugliness on the inside, this on you, you have to fix it. Don't say, I don't know how. Do it. You would fix it if it was something else. Figure it out. Ask Google. Ask ChatGPT. Ask the AI people out there. There's something. Go read the Quran. The Quran will tell you what to do. Yani? Oh, you know what you need to do to take care of envy and jealousy? Kabbir al-qalb. Make your heart bigger, because then it'll fit more people in it and you won't have so much. Yeah. Kabbir al-qalb. Make your heart big. Wide and open your heart. You're not going to be jealous if you love people. Ya Allah. It might be the 21st tonight, you guys. It might be the 21st tonight. And if you missed it, I did an event today at 3 o'clock. It was a beautiful event. I missed you all. I really enjoyed doing it. That's why I'm saying it's a beautiful event. And it was an event where I talked about the next 10-year strategies of Rabata. It's recorded and on YouTube. So you can go to our Rabata YouTube channel and watch it. It is open access. You can watch it, show it to people. I hope you are as inspired as I am. Even more, inshallah, we can be inspired together for the work that we want to do over the next 10 years. And so go over to YouTube and watch it. We have some pledge opportunities over there. We are taking pledges. There's a link. I hope someone puts it here. For pledges, if you would like to pledge a certain amount of money for the year, please feel free to do that. But watch the recording because I just want you to be excited with me about the work that we're hoping for the next 10 years. Guess what? We have another match. So exciting. On this 21st night, mashallah, we have been offered a match. If we can raise $10,000, we will be able to match. We have a sister, mashallah, who is matching $10,000. Actually, it's a sister and her husband. It's a Rabata family who are matching $10,000. So let's get that money raised. It might be Laylatul Qadr tonight. Give your sadaqah tonight so that it's like you've given sadaqah for 83 years, 1,000 months. 1,000 months. Somebody asked the question, which is, why does Allah try us to know if we are truthful? Because it's not about because we don't know if we're truthful unless we pass or not, guys. Do you know if you're truthful? How do you handle a trial? Wallah, nobody knows until you're in it. Wallah, let me tell you something. I can tell you from personal experience. You don't know until you're in it how hard it is. So, and that's how we help others too, isn't it? SubhanAllah. By experiencing something. SubhanAllah. Also, somebody asked me if I saw somebody say, does the monthly donation count as a sadaqah jariyah? 100%. Yes, because sadaqah jariyah is that which will follow you as you go forward. As you go into your next life, I mean. All right, please watch the video. Help us match the $10,000. Rabata.kindful.com. Help us match this $10,000. Last time on here, we were able to match $15,000 in less than 24 hours. This is an amazing community of people. May Allah bless you all. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open doors for you tonight on Laylatul Qadr. It is equal to, if it might be Laylatul Qadr. Those who are confused by that, Laylatul Qadr could be any of the odd nights in the last 10 days. And the odd night tonight begins with the 21st. So if it is Laylatul Qadr, it is equal to 1,000 months. So imagine if you give sadaqah on an odd night, and it turns out to be Laylatul Qadr, it's like you've given sadaqah for 1,000 months. MashaAllah. So pray tonight, make dua tonight, ask Allah tonight. Ya Rabb. Ask Allah to cure you tonight. You don't have to go to Laylatul Qadr healthy, spiritually. You go to Laylatul Qadr broken and turn to Allah. And Allah will fix you. Okay? All right, lovely ladies and gentlemen, everybody who's here, have a beautiful rest of your day. May Allah open doors for you. Remember us in your dua tonight. Remember all of us in your dua tonight. Remember me in your dua tonight. Remember Rabata and all of your brothers and sisters of the ummah tonight. Ya Allah. Assalamu alaikum.